Very good morning, students. Welcome to science session for class 10, and we are dealing with the seventh unit of atoms and molecules. Now in atoms and molecules, so far we have learned the postulates of modern atomic theory, relative atomic mass, average atomic mass, what is molecule, classification of molecules, and the relative molecular mass, and we have seen the numerical problems of relative molecular mass. And a very good morning, students. Welcome to science session for class 10, and we are dealing with the seventh unit, that is atoms and molecules. Now in atoms and molecules, so far we have learned the postulates of modern atomic theory, relative atomic mass, average atomic mass, what is molecule, classification of molecules, and the relative molecular mass, and we have seen the numerical problems of relative molecular mass. And today in this session, we are going to see the difference between atoms and molecules, mole concept, what is Avogadro hypothesis, relationship between vapor density and relative molecular mass, and few numerical problems based on the mole concept. Now let's go into the session, children. And now for the concepts that we are going to deal today, you're going to refer from page number 96 in your textbook. Now first we are going to see the difference between atoms and molecule. Now atom is the smallest particle of an element. Now for example, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, phosphorus. So these are the examples of element. So atom is the smallest particle of an element. For example, if I say nitrogen, it consists of nitrogen atoms. Carbon consists of carbon atom. Now what is a molecule? Molecule is the smallest particle of an element or a compound. Now example, I can say oxygen molecule O2, nitrogen molecule N2, HCl, it's a molecule. So let's go to the second point. Atoms do not exist in free state. Now for example, if I say oxygen atom, it do not exist as oxygen atom, that is O. It always combines with other oxygen atom to form O2. So it will always exist as oxygen molecule or not as oxygen atom. So except the noble gases. What are noble gases? The 18th group elements, that is helium, neon, argon, krypton. So these are the noble gases. So except those noble gas elements, atoms do not exist in free state. Molecule exists in a free state. For example, if I say O2, H2, N2, oxygen, nitrogen, oxygen, this exists in free state. For example, HCl is a molecule, it exists in free state. Now what are the next 2 points? The next is the except some of the noble gases, other atoms are highly reactive. All the atoms are highly reactive. It do not exist in free state, isn't it? So it combines with the other atom to form the molecule. So molecule are less reactive compared to that of the atom. Next is atoms do not have chemical bond. For example, if I say calcium Ca is an atom, is an element, so it do not have any chemical bond. Now for example, molecule, if I say carbon dioxide, it consists of 1 carbon and 2 oxygen atoms, and these 3 are held together by the chemical bond. There is a chemical force of attraction between the atoms that is present in the molecule. Now look into the screen, children. These are the examples of atom. Hydrogen, the symbol is H, carbon C, oxygen O, nitrogen N, calcium Ca, and phosphorus P. So these are the examples of atom, and it do not exist in free state. It is highly reactive and they do not have any chemical bond. Now these are the examples of a molecule. Water, ammonia, carbon dioxide, methane, these are the examples of molecule. They exist in free state. They are less reactive compared to that of an atom, and you can see a line between the atom, isn't it? So these are the chemical bond. For example, water, oxygen, and it is held by a chemical bond with 2 hydrogen atoms. So the black line between the atom is the chemical bond. So these atoms are held together by the chemical bond. Now let's move to what is mole concept. Now we know that atom is very very small, isn't it? And its mass is calculated with the relative scale using the mass of an standard isotopes. The relative mass of the atom is always calculated. Now there is no usable scale to with calibrated units to measure the atomic mass. So for example, if I have to measure the mass of any objects for that matter, what we use it in a real life situation, if I have to weight 1 kg of vegetable, what do? I do it in a physical balance and I compare it with the standard weight, isn't it? So I have a specific unit, isn't it, to describe the mass of the substance. Now atom being very very microscopic, a special unit is needed to describe it. Now we use a special unit to describe the large number of atoms, because atom is very microscopic. To find the mass of one atom, it becomes difficult, isn't it? So we use a specific unit, a special unit, to describe the large number of atoms. Now for example, in our day-to-day life we say 2 items of anything as a pair, isn't it? And a dozen consists of 12 items, isn't it? So similarly, the atoms and the large number of atoms and molecules are measured using the term mole. Mole denotes the number of particles. So we use mole as a special unit to describe the large number of atom. So what is this 1 mole? 1 mole, it is always compared with the carbon-12 isotopes. So the number of particles that is present in carbon-12 isotope is the number of particles that is present in 1 mole. And now this number of particles that is present in carbon-12 is determined experimentally, and this is done by a scientist called Avogadro. So the number is named after the scientist, which is called as Avogadro's number. Now what is this value? The value is 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23. So 1 mole of any substance contains 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 entities. Entities are nothing but the particles, atoms, molecules or ions. Now we are dealing with the mass of any substance in terms of particle using a unit called mole, isn't it? So the study of collection of the particle using the unit mole is called as the mole concept. And this number of moles can be expressed in terms of moles of molecules, in terms of atoms, in terms of gas, or in terms of number of ions. So you can see here, isn't it? The number of moles of a substance can be calculated by various means depending upon the data available. So if I have the number of moles of the molecules, atoms, or if it is expressed in terms of the liters, or if it is given in terms of ions or particles, we can calculate the number of moles. Now we'll see what is molar volume. Now 1 mole of any gas will occupy 22.4 liters at STP. What is this STP? It is the standard temperature and pressure. Now if I take oxygen gas, now 1 mole of oxygen gas I'm taking, right? Now how will this 1 mole be expressed in terms of liters? So it will occupy 22.4 liters at standard temperature and pressure. So the molar volume is one in which the gases are expressed. Now look into the picture, children. I can calculate the number of moles in terms of molecular mass, in terms of atomic mass, in terms of particles, and in terms of molecules. Now if it is given in terms of liters, I can calculate the number of moles. So this is the conversion of moles into volume, into mass, and into particles. Now, if I have the atom, now if I have to find out the number of moles, I can use this formula, that is given mass divided by atomic mass. Why? Because I take the atom. For example, the number of moles that is present in 23 grams of atom. So since an atom is given, sodium atom, so atom is given, I can calculate the number of moles using this formula, that is given mass divided by atomic mass. Now for example, if I have a molecule HCl, the number of moles that is present in certain grams of HCl. So HCl is a molecule, isn't it? So I will use number of moles is equal to mass divided by molecular mass. I will find out the molecular mass of HCl and substitute. Now if it is in terms of atoms, I will use this formula, that is number of moles is equal to number of atoms divided by Avogadro number, that is 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23. Now if it is in terms of molecules, that is number of moles is equal to number of molecules into 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23. So there are 4 formulas of the number of moles with which you can calculate whether it is an atom, molecule, or the particles. Now let's see what is Avogadro's hypothesis. Now look into the picture, children. You can see the a certain volume of different gases, isn't it? Helium, oxygen, water vapor, and ammonia. Now all these gases under similar condition will contain equal number of molecules. Now for example, if I take 5 liters of these gases, if I calculate the number of molecules that is present in 5 liters of these different gases, I will find that the number of molecules present in these gases seems to be similar, or we can say that the volume is directly proportional to the number of molecules. So that is V is directly proportional to N, or V is equal to constant into N. Now this is the expression, V is directly proportional to N, V is equal to constant into N. So equal volume of all the gases under similar condition of temperature and pressure contains equal number of molecules, where V is the volume of the gas, N is the number of molecules. So V is equal to constant into N is the Avogadro's law. Now let's go to the relationship between vapor density and relative molecular mass. We have seen the definition of relative molecular mass where it is compared with the carbon-12 isotopes. Now here we have the definition of relative molecular mass where it is expressed in terms of hydrogen, or you can say hydrogen scale. Now the relative molecular mass is the ratio of mass of one molecule of the gas to the mass of one atom of hydrogen. So here we take the standard isotope to be hydrogen. So we are comparing the mass of one molecule of any gas with the mass of one atom of hydrogen. So this is in terms of hydrogen scale. Now let's see what is the definition of vapor density, because we are going to derive the relationship between vapor density and relative molecular mass. Now what is density? Density is mass by volume, isn't it? So it is the ratio of mass of certain volume of any gas divided by mass of same volume of hydrogen. So here we are going to take same volume of hydrogen. For example, if I take 1 liter of any gas, I will take 1 liter of hydrogen and compare the density. So vapor density is equal to mass of given volume of the gas, that is Tp, divided by mass of same volume of hydrogen. Now we know that according to Avogadro's hypothesis, we said that the volume is equal to N. Remember this, volume is equal to N. So I can substitute instead of volume as N molecules, because all equal volumes of all the gases will occupy same number of atoms. So in the equation, mass of given volume of gas divided by mass of same volume of gas, I can substitute instead of volume the number of atoms. Say for example, N molecules of the gas is present, I can represent this vapor density as mass of n molecules of gas at STP divided by mass of n atoms of hydrogen. So we are comparing it with the hydrogen, isn't it? And now see this equation, children. Now here n can be represented as 1. Now I am substituting n is equal to 1. So mass of one molecule of gas at STP divided by mass of one molecule of hydrogen. We know that hydrogen is diatomic, isn't it? So it consists of two atoms of hydrogen. So I can write this equation as mass of one molecule of gas divided by mass of two atoms of hydrogen. This equation, two atoms of hydrogen. Since hydrogen molecule consists of two atoms, I can represent this, isn't it? Now this can be written as vapor density is equal to mass of one molecule of gas divided by 2 into mass of one atom of hydrogen. So instead of writing mass of two atoms of hydrogen, so I can multiply 2 into mass of one atom of hydrogen. Now we have learnt this relative molecular mass in terms of hydrogen scale, isn't it? Now compare the equation 7.1 and 7.2, children. Now leaving this 2, the other remaining definition is same as that of relative molecular mass, isn't it? So mass of one molecule of gas at STP divided by mass of one hydrogen of atom. So only the 2 is the extra value that is given in vapor density. So instead of this, I can substitute as relative molecular mass. So this can be written as vapor density is equal to relative molecular mass divided by 2. So when this 2 goes on the other side, that is on the left hand side, it becomes 2 into vapor density is equal to relative molecular mass, or the relationship between the relative molecular mass and vapor density is relative molecular mass is equal to 2 into vapor density. So this derivation is very important. See to that it is a simple derivation where first you have to substitute the volume by n, and n is equal to 1. So you will substitute instead of n 1, and you will write the one molecule of hydrogen as 2 into mass of one atom of hydrogen, and you will derive at the last you will arrive at relative molecular mass is equal to 2 into vapor density. This is a very important question. Write the derivation that is given in page number 99 so that it will be memorized. Next we'll see what is average atomic mass. Now average atomic mass is calculated using this formula. Average atomic mass is nothing but the weighted average of the mass of isotopes. Now AAM, that is the average atomic mass, is calculated. That is mass of the first isotopes into percentage abundance of the first isotope plus mass of the second isotope into percentage abundance of the second isotopes. Now if the atom exists in 3 isotopes, then again I will add here plus, and I will write mass of the third isotopes into percentage abundance of the third isotopes. So using this we are going to see 2 numerical problems. Let's see the numerical problem. Now let's see the first example to calculate the average atomic mass. Now the question is mass of the first isotope is 9 AMU and the percentage abundance of the first isotope is 50%. Mass of the second isotope is 10 AMU and the percentage of abundance of the second isotope is 50%. Now calculate the average atomic mass. Now what is the solution? To calculate the average atomic mass, I will multiply the mass of the first isotope, that is 9 AMU, into 50%. 50% can be written as 50 by 100 plus mass of the second isotope, that is 10 into 50%. Now when I cancel 50 and 100, it will be 1 by 2. Now here also the same. So now this is 9 by 2 plus 10 by 2. 9 by 2 is nothing but 4.5 and 10 by 2 is 5. So when you add this, you will get 9.5 AMU. So this is how you calculate the average atomic mass. Now let's see the second example. Example 2. Now there are 2 isotopes of boron and the percentage abundance is given. So what are the 2 isotopes of boron? Boron 10 and boron 11. Boron 10, the percentage abundance is 20% and for boron 11 it is 80%. Now to calculate the average atomic mass, first I will multiply the mass of the first isotope, that is 10, into the percentage abundance is 20. 20 can be written as 20 by 100. Now similarly, mass of the second isotope is 11 into 80 by 100. Now I can cancel this 0 and this 0. This and this can be cancelled. So I will get only 2 here, plus I can cancel the zeros in the numerator and the denominator. 8 by 10 can be written as 0.8. So when I multiply with 11, I'll get 8.8. So when I add this 8.8 plus 2, it will be 10.8 AMU. So the average atomic mass is 10.8 AMU. So these are the two sums to calculate the average atomic mass. Now let's see the percentage composition, how to calculate the percentage composition of an element in the compound. Now what is percentage composition? We are going to calculate the percentage of a particular element in the compound. Now for that we have a formula. Mass percentage of an element is equal to mass of that element in a compound divided by molecular mass of the compound into 100. Now using this formula we can calculate the mass percentage of a particular element in a compound. Now let's see the numerical problem so that you can understand this formula very clearly. Now the first example is we are going to calculate the mass percentage of hydrogen in the molecule water. For that we have to calculate the molecular mass. Now how to calculate the molecular mass we have seen in the earlier classes, isn't it? Now first we will count the number of hydrogen present in water. Hydrogen is 2 into the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1 plus how many oxygens are there? 1 into the atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So 2 plus 16 is 18. So this is the molecular mass of water. Now I am going to calculate the mass percentage of hydrogen in water. So for that we will first write the mass of that particular element, that is mass of hydrogen in water is 2 divided by the molecular mass of the complete water is 18. So into 100. So when I cancel these two in 2, it will become 1 by 9 into 100. So now I have to divide 100 by 9. I have done the division here. You can do the division in your rough note and you can compare it with my division. Now the answer is 11.11. So the mass percentage of hydrogen in water is 11.11. Now let's see one more example. Now let's see the percentage of oxygen. Now this we have calculated the percentage of hydrogen in water, isn't it? Now what is the mass percentage of oxygen? Now the mass of the oxygen is 16. So 16 divided by the molecular mass of water is 18. So 16 divided by 18 into 100. This I can cancel in 2 table, then it will become 8 divided by 9 into 100. Now we have divided, isn't it, 100 by 9 and we got the answer, isn't it? 100 by 9 is equal to 11.11. So this I can multiply by 8. So I will get 88.88 percentage. So the percentage of oxygen is 88.88 in water and the mass percentage of hydrogen is 11.11 in water. Let's see one more example, that is example 2. We are going to calculate the percentage of sulfur in sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. So first we have to calculate the molecular mass of sulfuric acid. How many hydrogens are there? 2. So 2 into atomic mass of hydrogen is 1 plus how many sulfur? Only 1 sulfur into atomic mass of sulfur is 32 plus how many oxygens are there? 4. So 4 into atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So when I add this, I will get 98 grams. Now I am going to calculate only the mass percentage of sulfur. So mass percentage of sulfur is equal to, what is the percentage of sulfur? It is 32, isn't it? So 32 divided by molecular mass of sulfuric acid is 98 into 100. Now this I can cancel by 2. I will get 16 by 49. Now first I will divide 100 by 49. I have done the division. Do the division in your rough note and compare it with mine, and into 16. So I have done the multiplication also here. So this when I multiply I will get 32.64 percentage. So the percentage of sulfur in sulfuric acid is 32.64. Hope you have understood the percentage calculation clearly with these examples. Now we have seen mole concept, isn't it? Now, what are the formulas that is involved in calculation of mole is I have given here. So, these are the four formulas that is employed in calculating the number of moles. The first one is number of moles is equal to given mass of an element divided by atomic mass of an element. If the problems contain atom or the element, for example, calculate the number of moles of 23 grams of sodium if it is given. Now the sodium is given, isn't it? So that is an element. So if the element is given, you can use this formula by substituting the atomic mass of the element. Given mass will be given in the question, and you should know the atomic mass of an element, and using which we can calculate the number of moles. Now if the data is given in terms of liters, so using this formula you can calculate the number of moles. So number of moles is equal to given volume divided by molar volume. Now I said molar volume is 22.4 liters. Now if the value is given in terms of liters, you can use this formula to calculate the number of moles. Now if a molecule is given, if the question contains in terms of molecule, now we can use this formula. The number of moles is equal to given mass of a substance divided by molecular mass or molar mass of the substance. Now if the question consists of atoms, ions, particles or molecules, you can use this formula. So number of moles is equal to number of atoms, ions, particles or molecules divided by Avogadro number. Avogadro number value we know it, isn't it? 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23. So using these four formulas, we can do the numerical problems related to the mole concept. So copy these four formulas in your classwork and try to memorize these formulas, because without knowing these four formulas, you cannot do the numerical problems related to mole concept. Now let's see the first example, that is calculating the number of moles for the first one. Now calculate the number of moles in 46 grams of sodium. Now note this, it is given in terms of atom, isn't it? Sodium atom is given. So you will use the appropriate formula to calculate the number of moles. Now what is given? Mass of the sodium atom is given, isn't it? So 46. Now atomic mass of sodium, we know it, isn't it? It is 23 grams. What we have to find out? We have to find out the number of moles. Now what is the appropriate formula? It is given mass divided by atomic mass, because in the question atom is given. So what is the given mass? 46 grams. What is the atomic mass? It is 23 grams. So I can cancel this. 23 into 2 will become 46. So this is 2 moles of sodium. So how many moles of sodium are there in 46 grams of sodium? It is 2 moles. Now let's go to the second example. Now the second example is given in terms of liters, isn't it? Now what is the question? 5.6 liters of oxygen at STP. What you have to calculate? You have to calculate the number of moles. But the given data is in form of liters, isn't it? So the appropriate formula should be used. Now first we'll write what is given. Given volume. What is the given volume? It is 5.6 liters. Now what is the molar volume? It is 22.4 liters. What we have to calculate? Number of moles. What is the appropriate formula for it? Since it is given in terms of liters, number of moles is equal to given volume divided by molar volume. What is given volume? 5.6 divided by molar volume is 22.4. Now when I multiply 5.6 into 4, I am getting 22.4. So this I can cancel by 1 and 4. 1 by 4. 1 by 4. The division I have done here. So when you divide 1 by 4, it is 0.25 moles. So there are 0.25 moles of oxygen in 5.6 liters of oxygen at STP. The third example. Now here calculate the number of molecules in 11.2 liters of carbon dioxide at STP. Now here number of moles is not asked to calculate. You are asked to calculate the number of molecules. Now to calculate the number of molecules, first you have to calculate the number of moles Now using the number of moles, you can calculate the number of molecules. Now the given data is in terms of liters, isn't it? So what is given? Given volume is equal to 11.2 liters and molar volume is 22.4 liters. First I said, first is the overall thing is you have to calculate the number of molecules. First I said that it should be converted to moles, isn't it? First you have to calculate the number of moles. So number of moles is equal to, since the given data is in terms of liters, we will use this formula. Given volume is divided by molar volume. So that is 11.2 divided by 22.4. This I can cancel 1 by 2 times. So I can multiply 11.2 into 2, it will become 22.4. So I can cancel this. So 1 by 2. 1 by 2 when you divide, it will become 0.5. So how many moles are there? 0.5 moles. Now this, using this number of moles, I can calculate the number of molecules. Now what is the formula? Number of moles is equal to number of the molecule divided by Avogadro number. Now what is number of moles? 0.5. What I have to calculate? Number of molecules. What is the Avogadro number? 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23. So I can bring this Avogadro number to this side to calculate the number of molecules. So 0.5 into 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 is equal to number of molecules. So number of molecules, when you multiply, I have done the multiplication, 6.023 into 0.5. So this is 3.0115, isn't it? So 3.0115. Now I should add this 10 to the power of 23 to the answer, because we have multiplied only 0.5 into 6.023. So this 10 to the power of 23 remains. So that should be added. So the answer is 3.0115 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules of carbon dioxide is present in 11.2 liters at STP. So this is how you calculate the number of molecules. Hope you have understood clearly. With that, we have come to the end of the lesson, atoms and molecules. Now in this lesson, we saw the postulates of modern atomic theory, average atomic mass, relative atomic mass, what is a molecule, classification of molecule, what is relative molecular mass, the difference between atoms and molecules, mole concept and the problems related to mole concept, calculation of the relative molecular mass and percentage composition. Now your homework for today is you have to copy these 4 formulas in your classwork and the numerical problems that we have done in this audio video session in your classwork, and you are going to submit the classwork in the school office on Friday. Now next session we will start with the biology chapter, that is unit 12, plant anatomy and plant physiology. Now with that we'll see in the next class, children. Thank you.